sprint. Click go for a quick fix, whole world in a small print. I bend cold like a bad law, turn walls into trapdoors. See cracks in the backboard, aim high, hit the back door. Like tearing the timeline, I slide through the side spine. They box truth in the guidelines, fall, I rewrite the guidelines. Blue light in my bloodstream, push back in a hush stream. If they frame what a fact means, I redraw the cutscene. Hey! Glitch in the system, wake up. Break all the filters, shake up. They map our minds in grayscale. We flood the frame with flame trails. Run through the firewall, hands up. Turn every pop up to anthem. They script control in plain sight. We crash the code and claim light. Face scan at the turnstile. My name tagged is a search file. They trade trust for a short trial. I trade fear for a wild style. Those trace in my browser. Spy eyes in a router. They track steps in a loud blur. I tiptoe then I shout words. New lens on the old miss. True bands when the feet flips. They see doubt in the seam stitch. I pull thread to the seam split. Soft lock on the thought stream. Hard reset on a soft dream. If they sell you a false feed, pull plug, feel a raw scream. Glitch in the system, wake up. Break all the filters, shake up. They map our minds in grayscale. We flood the frame with flame trails. Run through the firewall, hands up. Turn every pop up to anthem. They script control in plain sight. We crash the code and claim light.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, today I thought I'd do something different. And I watch a non-copyrighted documentary about reality hacking and how you can hack your reality. So I'm probably going to keep the face cam on unless it gets too annoying. If it gets too annoying, just shout out in the chat. I'll switch it off. So let's get into it. And this, I give the credit, is a documentary by Quantum Research. If you want to support them, just says enjoy the movie and share it. And that's what we're doing. Using our fair use to share it. I probably will pause it to walk through how I implement these things into my life and how they've worked for me. But I'll try not to pause it too much. But I will react to it.
Let us talk about infinity. Imagine opening your eyes and finding yourself surrounded by water, and you cannot remember ever not being in that water. The first question you might ask is,
how did I get here?
you've always been there.
What do you mean always? When did I enter the pool?
You never entered the pool. You have always been in the pool.
You never entered the pool entered you. Yeah, that was the line there.
But where was I?
Sorry, that's a good
before
start.
I was in the pool.
That's a false question. There is no before in which you were not in the pool. You have always been in the pool.
Okay, but always, like, how long? Like a billion years?
No, a billion years began a billion years ago.
Okay. But I must have been born at some point. What was before me?
Oh, okay, so like, what's our communication disconnect here? There is no before you. You have always existed in the pool. Always. Forever. Infinitely.
Yeah, but
Shh.
Always. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make is that there are some concepts that we humans just cannot wrap our heads around. And one of them is the idea of something having always existed and having no beginning. We just can't really grasp that concept. It just
doesn't compute. Like if I told you this road literally goes on forever, you'd be like, I don't get it, I cannot grasp infinity. Are we there yet? Nope. Are we close? Never getting there. Driving forever. Here's another one. Try and imagine nothing. It's kind of impossible. At first, you might envision nothing as darkness. But darkness is something. It's darkness. So then you might say, is nothing just empty space? Well, empty space is something. It's empty space. But here's something interesting about nothingness.
There's no such thing as empty space. Everything has got something within it, even to the tiniest microcosm.
While we can't really grasp the concept of nothingness, we can describe it with mathematics. Roll film, please. Okay, don't panic. This won't be complicated, and I'll do it real quick. Can I get some background music? So there's this thing called set theory. And in set theory, everything inside a set is what exists. And if nothing exists in the set, then it is called an empty set. And that is basically a mathematical representation of nothingness. Or simply the number 0. It kind of represents nothing. I mean, the symbol 0 is itself a thing, but it can also represent a lack of things. So you can see how we can describe nothingness with math, even though we can't imagine it. Same with infinity. We can't grasp it, but we can represent it mathematically and use it to solve equations. So at least mathematically, infinity totally exists. So, why am I telling you all this? Because another one of the concepts that we have a lot of trouble grasping, even though mathematically it is not only describable, but actually well understood, is dimensions higher than the third dimension. So, you see the square? It has an x-axis and a y-axis. When it has height added to it, it becomes a three-dimensional cube.
Are you adding height or are you adding depth? I think you're adding depth. I don't think you're adding height.
A z-axis. Okay, that makes sense. A cube is a 3D version of a square.
Unless you'd be standing on the object that is going up, then is height.
Okay, listen carefully and just like flow with me. So, you can grow another access to a 3D cube and get a 4-dimensional cube. Just like flow with me.
I just mouth breathe. But wow.
Now we can only perceive with our eyes and brains 3 dimensions, like this cube. So we can't really grasp this idea of a 4th dimension. It's like, huh? What the hell? 4 dimensions? Which is what you're thinking now. But while we can't really see or perceive a 4th dimensional version of this cube, we can at least describe it mathematically. So just like this is a 2D representation of a 3D cube, here's a 2-dimensional representation of a 4D cube. There's also a 5D cube, a 6D cube, a 100D cube, and so on. And not just cubes. All shapes have higher dimensional counterparts. Theoretically, there are endless dimensions. And while we can't see any of them, we can describe them using mathematics. Come on. Every time I update this operating system. Anyway, now, about all these dimensions existing, just take my word for it. You do not need to come to terms with the existence of these dimensions in order to appreciate the bonkers weirdness of what I'm about to tell you about the 8th dimension. So, in this movie, I want to tell you about a particular geometric shape. Actually, it's not so much a shape, it's really more a structure. An 8-dimensional lattice, known simply and mysteriously as E8. Now that I got my 8D glasses on, I'm gonna watch me some 8D TV. For some reason, this 8-dimensional thing, known as E8, appears to encode all of the particles and forces of our three-dimensional reality. So let's talk about what E8 actually is. And what it is actually pretty simple. For reals. Imagine circles, all of them the same size. We draw them on a piece of paper stacked in the densest possible way that one can stack circles of the same size. This happens to be called hexagonal packing, by the way. Now, let's put a little point in the center of every one of these circles. And now, let's get rid of the circles and leave only their center points. So now, we have something called a point space. This point space is one that represents the densest packing of two-dimensional circles of the same size, right? Now, let's talk about the densest packing of 3D circles, or spheres. Again, all of them of the exact same size. P.S. We're totally pretending that these oranges are perfect spheres of the exact same size. So, the densest packing of 3D spheres is actually pretty intuitive to us. It's how we pack oranges in the supermarket. By the way, this is kind of weird, but it was only in 2014 that someone was finally able to prove mathematically that this packing of 3D spheres is actually the densest. Weird, right? It was like this big mysterious problem for years in mathematics that nobody was able to prove. Now let's add points in the centers of all of our spheres while they're in this dense arrangement. And again, let's get rid of all of the spheres and keep only the points that represent their center.
This seems like some very Terry Howard-esque. This is some Terryology.
Okay, so now we're left with the point space representing the densest packing of three-dimensional spheres. So far, so good, right? Y'all with me? Okay, so E8 is the point space representing the densest packing of 8D spheres. Strings, please. Now, many of you have heard of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. It's a theory that describes, among other things, how gravity works and how it affects massive bodies, like planets. And many of you have also heard of quantum mechanics. It's a theory that describes very small things, like electrons. No one has ever been able to unify these two theories into what we colloquially call a theory of everything, or more technically, quantum gravity theory. But for years now, there has been a theory that has claimed to be a serious contender in unifying these theories. And you've probably heard of it. It's called string theory. Problem is, string theory has kind of failed. For years, it has been getting tons of funding and grants in academia, but it has never produced any successful predictions. And there are many physicists out there who think that the time of string theory is over, and that E8 may play a more serious role in an eventual theory of everything.
So string theory definitely applies to paragliding. Not sure much else.
What do you got against?
String theory applies to paragliding. Doesn't physics apply to paragliding more than string theory? Just
String
out of
theory.
curiosity.
What don't I have against string theory?
Anyone know what the education system in Hawaii is like?
My name is Garrett Lisi, and I live in Maui because why would I live anywhere else? I was the person who first discovered a match between particle physics and E8. And when I first discovered it, it was so incredibly exciting. I knew I was going to be working on this probably the rest of my life.
But then if you look at
came to
sacred,
Maui because I
but
got
then if you look at sacred geometry, they're basically just making sacred geometry. If you look at it, it's the same sort of patterns. And if you're good at pattern recognition, you'll see it's all the same.
a PhD in theoretical physics, and I thought about going off to do a postdoc somewhere, but pretty much everywhere I looked wouldn't allow me to research what I wanted. So I decided to split off to Maui and be a surf bum and work on what I wanted here. In the 90s, string theory was the hot research topic that everybody was going for. And I had looked at string theory and I just thought it was kind of far-fetched. I thought they were making a lot of unjustified assumptions about the way the universe works. Wasn't a bad idea when it started. They just overpromised and underdelivered.
What did they promise?
Well, string theorists promised to figure out a simple, elegant description of fundamental physics using a few simple principles, and they utterly failed to do that. They kept piling on more and more complications until the theory just got ridiculous.
What would string theory people say about what you just said?
If they're honest, they'd agree with me. But you know, people get very attached to the ideas they're working on, and after a long enough time, it becomes hard to let them go and move on to other things. String theory has a lot of inertia because you have grants in place that support the projects that are being researched. And you have students working on string theory problems who've started their dissertations, which can last many years. That's one good thing about working on your own. If you just decide the approach you're taking is not going to produce results like you thought it was, you can just wipe the slate clean and work on something else. As a graduate student, I really fell in love with Einstein's theory of relativity. His description of gravity as curving space-time.
Okay, so super nutshell explanation of how gravity works according to Einstein's theory of relativity. Now, this is a big oversimplification, so science nerds, do not hate on me. Basically, the idea is that space is a kind of fabric, and objects, such as planets, sit on this fabric and make it sort of bend or curve so that other objects, like other planets, will fall toward it. Heavier objects cause a heavier curving of space, or a stronger gravitational pull, meaning objects fall towards them faster. So this is a very geometric description of gravity.
When I studied particle physics, it's just it wasn't a geometric theory in the same way that gravity is described as curving space-time. So I wanted to understand a description of elementary particles that matched up with Einstein's theory of gravity. Because the universe is just one thing, right? So there has to be a unified description of this place where we are living. When you do fundamental mathematics, you invariably see these very elaborate, complicated, beautiful mathematical structures that come out. And it just so happens that some of these beautiful mathematical structures describe our physical universe. We know of these forces that exist in the universe, right? Gravity, electromagnetism, the weak force, the strong force, and we have this whole spectrum of elementary particles and properties.
So this is an idea that's been around for a long time, and I'm going to describe it using a hypothetical scenario. Imagine if we lived in a two-dimensional universe, a totally flat universe. All particles, atoms, people, buildings, all are totally flat, like a cartoon. Okay. So in this 2D universe, all particles, such as electrons, quarks, photons, would all be two-dimensional. So let's take one of these hypothetical two-dimensional photons, for example. The idea is that there is a circle attached to it in the third dimension, sort of above this 2D universe, in such a way that the photon is actually just a point on that circle. And that point appears in our 2D universe as a photon. We cannot see the entire circle popping out of 2D, just the point of the circle that touches our universe. This circle is called a fiber. The fiber represents how the photon moves through space and time. So a photon is represented by just this one circle, and other particles and forces are represented by different combinations of circles.
The fundamental force, known as the weak force, for example,
has 3 circles that twist around each other in certain ways. These groups of circles form what are called Lie groups. Okay, so that explanation assumed a hypothetical two-dimensional universe. But in our actual universe, which is in 3D, the fibers attached to our 3D space are in even higher dimensions.
So physically, we live in three-dimensional space. And there are these other higher dimensional fibers attached to every point of our space. And as these fibers twist over our space in time, that appears in our space as particles propagating from one point to another. This is what all matter, all forces, this is what everything is. This description of particles is entirely geometric. All the forces we know of, they're coming about from the curvature of these fibers, the same way gravity is the curvature of space-time. And this has actually been known and standard in physics for over 70 years now.
So this idea was exciting for a few decades, but then people sort of forgot about it and started working on string theory. But string theory, as you guys know, didn't pan out so well. So Garrett took a big step backwards and tried to combine the theory of these circles with gravity. And some interesting things happened. So just like numbers, you can add Lie groups. Like you can literally add groups of circles into larger groups. So when Garrett added together the Lie groups representing each and every force and particle in nature that we know of, along with the Lie groups representing some theorized but not yet seen particles, such as the graviton, which is a theorized gravity particle, they all formed this one big Lie group. And I mean a really big Lie group, one that has been known about in mathematics for years. And you guys already know what it's called. It's called E8.
E8 is considered by many mathematicians to be the most beautiful structure in mathematics. And it just so happens that there's this correspondence between the particles we see in nature and this most beautiful mathematical structure ever discovered. And there are some discrepancies. We're not sure exactly how it will work or whether it will work at all, but there's enough of a matching between the known properties of elementary particles and the structure of this geometric mathematical object that it's very promising, very encouraging for describing physics.
So, to really simplify this, and again, science nerds, don't hate on me, I'm just trying to give you a simple visual. Imagine if behind every particle we see in our 3D world.
Now, I'm going to show gravity. I'm going to show some sacred geometry. This is basically what they're basically showing us. So how long have we known for? They've known this for thousands of years. It's bonkers. And they've just complicated it. This is yeah, bonkers. It isn't what I thought it was going to be
There's
anyway.
this 8-dimension sort of E8 machine behind the scenes that turns and rotates. And when we view a particle in our world, we see it as an electron.
What would you call that, Noah? What would you call that 8th dimension? Metron's cube. That's the one. See, every school of thought got a different name for it. It was easier to understand than this one.
Or quark or photon or any other thing,
Quark.
according to what
That
this
is.
E8
Isn't that a physics? Isn't that a physics name? A quark. Isn't that like a smallest atom of an atom of an atom or something?
machine is doing over there in the 8th dimension and according to its orientation relative to our world. So all particles and forces and space-time itself can geometrically transform into one another according to the geometry of E8.
So are all particles?
The geometry of it. No, just geometry. Just geometry in anything. You didn't have to add the in D8 or E8. Just geometry. Look at the shape. The geometry of what? My
The
balls.
same somehow?
Yeah, they're all different fibers of this E8 Lie group.
Well, that's just weird.
Isn't that great?
So it's weird and mysterious that a point space in 8 dimensions is so somehow fundamentally related to our 3-dimensional reality, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. I mean, it's one.
So Noah said a quark is any number of subatomic particles carrying an electrical charge. Yeah, so physics.
Wonderful and mysterious.
Yeah, I didn't know the ins and outs. I just knew it was physics. Physics.
Is why mathematics works so well to describe our universe at all. Our physical laws, the fact that they're accessible to us, and that some fundamental bits of mathematics.
Yes, science, man. That's what it reminds me of, Jesse Pinkman. That's science.
Actually describe our physical world. That's really remarkable. Like we're living.
I can describe our physical world. Does that make me remarkable? Looking out my window, I can see a house. and a big mountain and some trees. I can see my computer. Jupiter, wow!
In a bit of mathematics, it's come to life.
I'm not sure about whether
And
the empire has to be, but once you have the linear window,
This is a theory which is documented.
And then you go one step larger in the size of your tetrahedron, and then 10 steps larger, then a million steps larger.
This is some
The
teriology.
breakthroughs in physics
It is.
have come from people willing to step outside the box and do something creative and radical. I'm the director of quantum gravity research.
Pretty sure they called terrorist radical at one point. It is interesting to learn how the school of thought. That's not at one point. Yes, Noah. That epic nitric oxide. I use it for good purposes. What's a theoretical physicist? So they just make a theory on physics. Is that basically it?
Working on a theory of everything called emergence theory.
Why don't you just call it life? A theory of everything, life. You experience everything in life. Ups, downs, highs, lows. Well, they gotta make it into something like that.
I've given up every other focus in my life. I quit my job as an executive years ago to focus on this every day with a team of physicists and mathematicians who work with me. What is
If I could smell lack of aura in one room, that would have been it. That would have been it. Minus 20 aura.
reality? Is reality made of energy? And if so, what is energy? Is reality made of information? And if so, what kind of information? Is it
Now they're getting
binary,
onto
made of
something.
zeros and ones? Is the universe a binary computer?
Okay, so in theory, reality
They predict natural phenomena by a computer and mathematics. Sweet.
is at its most fundamental level a code or a language.
Does that prediction always come true? You'll know this more than me, Noah. You should jump on. I'll jump in a Discord call and you should jump on and watch with us. Do those predictions always come true? I know some of them do, but do they always? What do you think of this? What do you guys think of this, all 18
And
of you?
this code relates deeply to E8. Klee envisions a substructure of space and time at the tiniest possible scale. You know how your TV screen is broken down into fundamental units called pixels? Well, emergence theory suggests a three-dimensional pixel of reality, a fundamental building block that everything is built from, the tetrahedron, which is a three-dimensional equilateral triangle. These tetrahedra combine with one another through various mathematical rules throughout all of space into a massive structure Klee calls the quasi-crystalline spin network. And this network isn't some random arbitrary idea. It comes directly from E8.
So now you have a conundrum, because you have this mathematical idea that reality relates to higher dimensions.
I'll send you the link
and
now.
yet you're measuring
I'll send you the link now on X.
or observing 3D. So the only solution that we can think of is quasi-crystals.
Quasi-crystals. That's a mouthful. Some people call them quasi-crystals.
You're a crazy
So
crystal.
let's talk about what a crystal is first. A crystal refers to a type of pattern, a periodic pattern. A checkerboard is an example of a
I'm just going to pause this a sec. Noah just said, this tetrahedron is the Metatron's cube tree of life. Yeah, I know about the tree of life. Do you know about the Metatron? Just going to send you this.
two-dimensional periodic pattern where if you extend it infinitely, it'll just be the same pattern forever. You can also have three-dimensional crystal structures like this cubic lattice.
Now, imagine projecting a three-dimensional cubic lattice to a two-dimensional surface. You create a shadow. This shadow also has a pattern, but it isn't periodic. It also isn't random. It's aperiodic, a quasi-crystal. A quasi-crystal in a certain dimension is a projection of a crystal in a higher dimension.
Remember those points representing the densest packing of circles and spheres? Actually, those points are arranged in a crystalline order. Now, the E8 lattice is actually an 8-dimensional crystal, and Klee's group projects this E8 crystal from 8D
Hey, look, I'm on the stream
to
now.
4D
Yo, yo, yo.
to 3D at a specific irrational
What's
angle.
up? This sounds so much more different than X.
And welcome to Know Us. How are you doing? Quasi quackheads are you there? What do you make of this? I thought there was going to be a documentary on how others can hack their reality, but there seems to be another theory of everything, which you probably understand better than me. What do you make of it?
I think this is great, actually, even if you believe in a globe or a flat Earth, because it explains a pixel and how it's a tetrahedron, and that it's a pixel is just a tiny fragment of the all, in computing at least. But who knows? I think we live in a hologram. So, with that being said, a pixel can literally be a tiny tree of life, and in the grand scheme of things, this realm that we live in is a giant pixel or tetrahedron.
Yeah.
Form their
Yeah, that
theorized
makes sense.
fundamental
That does make sense.
substructure of space-time.
They seem to be saying it in a totally different language to what I can understand, so I'm glad I got someone to explain it to me.
Yeah, and she said quasi crystals, quasi crystals.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
I make an irrational projection
It's like,
of E8
what are you
down
trying to
to
say
a
here? You
lower
like doing
dimensional
crystals?
shadow of E8.
Crystal meth.
Something remarkable happens. The object
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
becomes a language. That is, it becomes a finite set of geometric
Speaking of crystals,
letters.
Where's your bowl?
This.
I don't see it. Hold on. Oh, yeah, dude, that fucker's dope, dude. That shit looks like it belongs on the dinner table.
It's Ramadan, so I don't smoke. It's about 5, 6 o'clock. I'll have my first one.
Bro, is that a robe you're wearing, bro? That shit's sick.
Yeah, and I got shorts to go with it. Watch, ready? I'm gonna. This is gonna be gay because I'm gonna stand up. You ready? Oh shit! I got my headphones on, and I got shorts. Ah, you can't see the shorts. Let me stand on my chair. Time for shorts.
No way, dude. That's so sick.
Oh yeah. A fiver on Temu. Chinese sweatshop. Can't beat it. And I bought
Bro,
that.
you had.
I bought them as well. What can you see?
Let
See them?
me see. I can't see it.
There. And I bought Friedrich Nietzsche's books.
Oh, Nietzsche. Okay.
And I bought the statue, the alien statue on there. And I bought 100 of these.
Bro, get the fuck. Do you have a scar on your forehead, bro?
Yeah. There.
Bro, I have a scar on my forehead too.
I fell. Do you know the you probably had them in high school, the benches that fold down. In like the gym class, they have benches that fold up and fold down, yeah? Did you have them?
Yeah. How old were you?
4, 5?
Dude, get out of here. I was like a couple years old when I fell on a fucking brick at my grandpa's house in the yard.
Yeah, that's my. And I got a scar on my nose. I had my nose ripped off by a truck. I don't know if you hear. That's why I'm so big into nose breathing, because I couldn't breathe through my nose at once, and I could feel my mental health deteriorating. And over the 20 years where I didn't know that breathing correctly would help it, I sort of turned my life inside out and turned it upside down. Yeah,
How
madness.
many how many people are chimed in now? You had 16.
18 at the moment.
Well, shit.
Because I'm streaming on multiple platforms, so the ones on Twitter.
Oh, that's
No,
what
when
it
you say
is.
Twitter, I've unplugged the wrong one. But when you talk about reality hacking and things that pique people's curiosity, they tend to chime in. And I don't like to push, you know me, I don't like to push doom and gloom and agendas. I like to push truth and perspective, of all perspectives. So, yeah, I thank everyone for being in. I thank you, Noah, because I wouldn't have a clue
Oh,
about any of
I
this.
appreciate it.
And you a school of thought, because you have got a good school of thought.
Rules on how you can arrange those letters and freedoms within those
It's
rules,
good.
which
I mean, I ain't gonna
allows you
toot my own horn.
to express or encode information.
Toot it. Toot your own horn as much as you want.
So, this three-dimensional quasi-crystal...
No, this is my line. So, this three-dimensional quasi-crystal is essentially a geometric code. A code composed of symbols which express meaning.
I'm just cleaning the
And this
bong, bro.
meaning
I mean, you could keep playing that
is
video. I mean, it
reality
was great.
itself.
Yeah, it is. Can you
String
see it
theory
or hear it?
speculates on a number of hidden dimensions.
I don't hear
and
it
when
anymore,
we ask,
actually.
well, why can't we measure these
It is on.
dimensions and observe them? Then the
Let's try
answer is,
again.
well, because they're too small to see. In our approach, we never have
Shit.
to introduce the higher dimensions.
How's that? Is that better?
Because we get the same information of the higher dimensional math
I got it.
encoded in the three-dimensional dynamic quasi-crystal language. Mathematically, one can recover the information of the E8 lattice that encodes unification physics from the lower dimensional quasi-crystal.
Did you see where they were all in the room? That was like a proper auraless room. That was the nerdiest room I've ever seen in my life. And I'm a
Yeah,
nerd.
you were saying that.
And I'm a nerd. That was funny.
I'm a nerd, and that was pretty fucking nerdy.
To me, to be able to even have a 1 in a million shot at discovering the very keys to the fabric of reality is just fun. Like, what better treasure hunt could one have? I think that the world is getting crowded, and there's a lot of people not having fun because they're focused on getting enough water that's clean or food, and perhaps understanding the deepest secrets of nature at the smallest scales will be like having the keys to the kingdom. So imagine if we discovered the very fabric of reality in explicit detail, the very workings at the pixelated scale of reality. That should open up a treasure trove of new technologies and perhaps even new philosophies relating to the strangeness of quantum mechanics that allow things that we couldn't imagine.
But do you think if they find the figment of reality that they're going to be able to tell us what the figment of reality is? I think that they figured this shit out a long time ago. They just won't tell us. I mean, look at the shit that they're doing with CERN. I mean, they keep opening wormholes per se with that machine, and God knows how many wormholes they've already fucking made.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. It's been going on a lot longer than people think. And they've known for a lot longer. That's where all the sacred geometry comes in and things like that. They just haven't been able to articulate it in a scientific way that the large majority of the population can understand. And no offense to these, they put it in a good way, but nobody's going to understand this. No average person on the street is going to understand this. If you go up to someone and go, "What's a quark?" They're going to be like, "What?"
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to find somebody who's done the research or went to school, you know, and studied this shit. I mean, but I think for, you know, somebody who's learning and brand new to this. I mean, it's pretty interesting the fact that a pixel is a tetragrammaton. Uh, it explains reality pretty easily. I mean, if a pixel is a tetragrammaton, then that means that the phi is literally uh, a pixel. So the torus field is a pixel.
And what's a pixel?
1 bit
1 bit.
of space.
Ah, so 1 bit of matter. See, now I can understand it. When they're talking pixels and quarks, so 1 bit of matter. So say 1 stroke of a keyboard, 1 input. Is that what we're getting into?
That'd probably be less than a keystroke, to be honest with you. 1 pixel. I think a keystroke might be more of more pixels than that. I don't know.
No, I'm
I think
thinking
with
like if I put a G on the computer, it sends a ripple, so that G or that like me pressing down on that is the actual minute. Yeah, it's probably a shit analogy, but I understood what I was saying.
yeah, if you hit one key on the keyboard, it's like changing reality as we know it from a smaller perspective.
Yeah, yeah, I get it.
Knowledge is a long and winding one, filled with moments of glorious scientific discovery, but also ones of bitter disappointment. Whether or not Klee and Garrett's theories become accepted as mainstream quantum gravity theories, many physicists believe that reality is deeply related to higher dimensional objects. E8, perhaps as real as it is mysterious, appears to be a real contender on the road to discovering a theory of everything.
Well, that was pretty good.
Hey, can you reward them for sitting through that whole explanation with like some 80s rock and roll?
No, it's okay. I don't need any rewarding. Don't need any rewarding, thank you.
Come on.
Now,
But I really want.
we're gonna listen to Neville Goddard. Is it Neville Goddard? Yeah.
This ad brought to you by Sunno.
This series to be the most productive that we've ever had.
Viewer discretion is advised.
This is called Feeling is the Secret. This is the type of thing I wanted, reality hacking. How to hack your reality, not the overall reality. Yeah. Do you like Neville Goddard?
Like what?
Do you like Neville Goddard? Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think I have.
And by that I mean, I want everyone present to really have a goal, a noble goal, and realize.
He talks about it's like occultism and esotericism in terms of like manifestation and how to master your emotions and your thoughts and things in order to manifest things. Before it became hijacked into the love light and unicorns bollocks, basically.
I'm sorry, how do you spell that?
Is that Neville, Neville, and then Goddard, Goddard.
Yeah, it sounds like a school of thought to me.
Yeah, it is.
Before we close,
It's a good school of thought.
may I tell you,
But I suppose, as with everything, people could use it for bad and manifest bad shit, which most people do in this world. They manifest so much bad that they don't even realize it, just by the power of their thought.
It's the power of intention.
Yeah, exactly. The power of feelings. That's what this is. Feelings is the secret.
I mean that seriously. So what do I mean
That's
by
the secret
our
of
real
getting a bunch
belief?
of people
Our
on a
real
stream
belief
is just streaming on
is
multiple
what we live
platforms.
by.
What's that?
Real belief
I
and
said, I see
knowing
you're streaming.
are one.
Getting a bunch of
When a
people
man really
together
believes,
is
it
by
is
streaming on
necessary
multiple platforms.
he knows
Yeah,
it.
I got 21 viewers at the
It's
moment,
tantamount to knowing.
and I'm gonna go let the dog out. So
When I tell you,
Oh, no
believe,
worries.
I'll be back now. I'm gonna leave this playing because it's a good book.
it is
I'll
not
keep him busy.
complete till it becomes experience. One must experience it, and then they know it. Now, you will hear the same thing tonight. Everyone present will hear exactly the same thing. But no two will hear it in the same depth. Some will hear it on the surface, others will hear it below the surface,
Beautiful day.
and others will hear it down in the very depths of their being.
Cloudy, but
It's where you hear it.
beautiful.
As we are told,
No
the
sun.
word came to them as it did to us. But it did not profit them, because it was not moved with faith in those who heard it. They heard it and rejected it, but they heard it. It came in and went out. It did not receive
The birds are talking.
acceptance by those who heard it. And so they instantly rejected it. Tonight, I hope you will not reject what I'm here to tell you. But that's your choice. You're free. You could accept it or reject it.
I'll stay out here for another minute or two.
But I tell you,
Listen to
if
this.
I get through tonight and you apply it, because you are the operant power, I can tell you that it doesn't operate itself. If this very moment I ask you to think
Hopefully you can hear the birds
of a
in the
friend,
background.
just think of a friend,
Quite nice.
and now hear him tell you something lovely about himself, about a
Yeah, throw
mutual
that noise.
friend, or about you. Just hear it.
I don't know what kind of bird that is as well.
Do you believe that that actually took place? You may say, well, I imagined it, but it didn't really take place.
I've never heard that one back
I will
out
tell you
west,
the day will come, and I
to be
hope
honest.
now.
Not that I know
When
of.
you imagine a state, before you have external confirmation of that state, to you it is as though you heard it externally. You know it. That this internal act is
You're
equal
done.
to the external confirmation of that act. You get to that point because the difference between God
I'm
and
back.
man is measured only in terms of this imaginative
No,
power.
that was perfect. I actually just went inside
I
after
will
smoking
now
one.
speak of the power that is God.
They were listening
As
to
you're
some
told in
birds in
Scripture,
the background.
Nature.
it's revealed constantly as power, sheer power.
Yep, it had a
Third
crow
chapter,
talking to
fourth,
another
fifth,
bird. I
and
was kind of
sixth verses
surprised.
of the book of Exodus. Sheer power. Moses stands in the presence of power, but it's creative power. And the distance between God and man is measured by simply power.
This is cool, man. I
On
like
this
I like
level,
this
if I'm on the
setup you
surface of
got
my
here.
being,
What's that?
only this is real. And what my sense
Just
I
chilling.
like your computer setup. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
your cross streaming too.
It took me ages to figure it all out, but I got there in the end. I wanted to do this for like 5-6 years, just to prove to Charlie that it can be done. Because when he was a kid, he wanted to be a streamer, but then society told him it couldn't happen. So my goal is to do this so that he knows that you can do anything you want. I never thought I'd be doing this. I never thought I'd be thinking, actually. Never thought I'd be doing anything that used my brain. But I tend to help people solve problems, so make myself useful.
Don't show Charlie until you hit like 1 million views or like 100,000 views in a stream.
No, I won't. He's not gonna know.
But as I go deeper into my own being, moving
The
ever
most I've
further
had so
to
far
the core of
is
my being, who is God, then my
93,
imaginative
94.
act becomes
And that was like on one of my first ever streams.
externalized. Quickly
There is a way of
externalized
inviting you
deeper.
to co-stream with me so your photo comes up, but I don't know how to do it.
If I believe. If I don't believe, it
I
never
could probably figure it out
comes
sometime.
into some external form at all. Never. Yet I'm living in a world, not understanding it, not knowing what it's all about. So really the story that I want to tell you is trying to ask you and plead with you to buy your religion wholesale. Go to the maker. Go to the source. Don't buy it retail. There's some man in between. No one in between you and the source. You go right into the depth and buy your religion wholesale by going to the source, which is your own wonderful human imagination.
I could host a space about it as well in theory. And do all of them at the same time.
Tuesday, of one whose name was Eddie.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if it can be done, it can be done.
When he heard, "Do not come up here," read the words.
I'm not sure if I could handle doing a Discord and a X at the same time.
Read it in the book of Exodus. 4th, 5th, and 6th verses of the 3rd chapter of Exodus. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Do not come here." And then Moses hid his face, not in shame, but in fear. He was afraid to look at God. So Eddie saw the symbol of God, and he ran. He was scared too. The identical story. And what did he hear? The revelation of God's name, I am.
Oh, it's not even playing. I thought it was playing in you.
Then it repeated itself so loudly he thought it came from above. He looked up thinking of some machine, maybe some helicopter, with a PA system is broadcasting the name I am. There was not a thing in sight. And then the third, "Don't come up here." Being curious, he did go up there to the hill to confront a rattlesnake. Fortunately, it was not coiled to spring. It was simply
What the hell is that?
a 4-foot-long snake, all stretched out. The symbol of the creative power of God. But it scared him.
Oh,
it scares man.
I figured out how to do it.
Man actually sees what really is in himself. That he's solely responsible for everything that is taking place in his world. Solely responsible. It scares him. It's too much. Until he goes deeper and deeper and hears the same word of truth, but hears it in depth. And then he assumes full responsibility for all that is taking place within him. So tonight, let me share with you a few stories. 7 years ago, a lady, she's not here tonight, she's now on a new job, and is taken away for a while.
What are you trying to figure out right now?
That imagining creates reality.
I figured it out.
She said to herself, "Well, if that is
How
so,
to
I
put
will
you
have
as
to
I can have you as a face cam as well.
She had no money. She's never been a lady of means, always working.
So if I ever collab with people, I can just send them a link,
What it would take to make the
and they can have, and I can just put their face up.
the usual story. She told her dream.
Yeah, that guy's face right now looks like a white The Rock.
Nothing wrong with it. If you really believe it, you can tell it. As you're told in the scripture, go. Tell no man, but show John. Show the world. But that's, if you don't tell man before, will man believe you after the event? He may question your honesty. But if you tell him before the event, then he is assured.
I'll be back now.
Because actually, you have a witness to the fact you did tell him before the event. So that is also in Scripture. And now I will tell you before it takes place, that when it does take place, you may believe. But that is courage in the depth of the soul, where one knows the imaginal act is a fact at the very moment of the act, though not yet seen by the outer man. But not everyone has that courage and that faith in the imaginal act. So she told it. And naturally her friends criticized her. It is stupid to go to that man, you waste your money. It's not religion. What is it? He is telling you that an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. But that's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
I've just applied to become an affiliate for Twitch. Not Twitch. What's that for? G Fuel. You know that gaming energy stuff.
G Fuel, yeah. I get emails from them.
Yeah, I've just applied to be an affiliate with them. So we'll see.
You might as well. Fuck it.
As long as they don't tell me what I can and can't say. 'Cause
Must conform to the
then I'll tell them,
external
go forth and
fact to which
multiply.
it relates. So if I say,
Or
well,
you,
isn't a lovely
yeah,
dog,
or you could tell them you can go
and
fuck
there is
yourself.
no dog to bear
Yeah.
witness to my
In them
judgment,
words,
my judgment
go
is false.
go
But that's
fuck
what they
yourself,
gather
like
from
Elon
what
said.
she told them that I am teaching. And so
Yeah,
the
you
whole
could
thing
say
is
like
insane,
Elon
it's stupid.
on the
Well, the years
stream.
went on.
Mm.
It's been 7 years now.
2
And this is
G-force.
what happened this past week.
You can go fuck yourself.
She got a job. She's a nurse. And
I'm
so
not going to tell them that yet,
moves
though.
around. She goes from
Please,
home to home
G-Force,
where the need is
allow me to be an affiliate.
And
Trying to
she
change
found
the world.
herself in the environment
Yeah,
of the
G-force is
neighborhood
awesome.
of a
We weren't
friend
talking
she had
shit.
not been contacted in a year.
We love G-Force, even though I've never tried it.
Exchanged a birthday card and a
Well,
Christmas greeting
now
with a
you have to
little
try
note
it.
on the card.
Oh yeah, I'll try it. If I'm gonna take an affiliate with something, I'm definitely trying it.
In the neighborhood, she calls them.
Well, yeah, you have to agree with the flavor and all that shit. I mean, you can't support a fucking brand that tastes disgusting.
Yeah.
You can have it. You can have it. She said, all right, I'll take it. What is it?
Then you'd be a fucking sellout.
This is the story.
Exactly, and that's one thing I'm not knowing.
There was a party, a pre-Lenten party.
We know sellout.
Hilton.
So if it's shitty, you can't support the brand.
A Catholic
No.
society, the Joseph and Mary Society.
And I will publicly say it tastes like ass.
The major prize was a 30-day trip, first class, all expenses paid, stopping
Yeah.
along the way at the Hilton
Yeah, they
Hotel
have
in the
they have a
Middle
lot to prove. Then I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, on the Genie Speaks, I mean, Genie will speak on the matter here real shortly.
And had no
Exactly.
desire this year to go abroad again. In fact, they've already arranged to go to New York City for the World's Fair, which opens in April. So a trip abroad is
All right,
out.
does the White Rock have something to
This
say?
ticket, this door ticket, only
Can't you hear it?
Oh, shit.
What have you
There
done?
we go.
No, you wasn't watching it.
accepts one person, not a group, not a family. So that was what her friend said to her she would give her. Jan said, all right, I'll take it. And then called me up to tell me the story. Delayed, seemingly, 7 years. She still now has her ticket, if she wants it, to the Northeast where Egypt is included, and she goes first class, all expenses paid, but everything paid. Because she believed. Maybe in the interval her faith wavered. Maybe she justified it by saying maybe I don't want it, or in some strange way tried to explain it away. But it still, in its own good time, came to the surface. I ask you not to throw your dreams away and feel that they are impossible of realization in this strange, drab world of external facts. Every dream can come true if I can get through to you that your imagination is God, and that your imaginal act when you think of a friend carrying on the conversation, that is Jesus Christ in action. Examine yourselves to see whether you are holding to your faith. Test yourself. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? If he is in you, then who is he? He is your own imagining. God is your imagination. God in action is imagining. And God in action is Christ. Christ, as defined in Scripture, is the power and the wisdom of God. So I tell you, everyone can realize if you really believe in Jesus Christ. 1 billion will claim they believe in Jesus Christ and cross themselves before a dead piece of wood or a piece of marble or clay or something other than a living God. And the very being kneeling before these external icons, here is the king of Greece that just died, and they brought what they considered a holy icon for the man who was dying. In the eyes of God, a king is just like a serf. They do not differ. One's love for one is not greater than his love for another. To what extent have they heard the word of God and believed? So he's dying to bring a holy icon. It didn't work. Just saw the little icon, and so he makes his exit like any other person in the world. I hope that everyone here will find the real Jesus Christ. The real Jesus Christ is your own wonderful human imagining. That's God in action. The real God is your own wonderful, lovely imagination. When you say, I am, that's God. Now let me share with you that which was given to me this past week by a gentleman who was here tonight. He's written a glorious story.
See all that mouth breathing, he's a mouth breather, man. And I agree what he's saying, but he's a mouth breather.
He might be one of the worst, actually.
You could hear him going.
Is he on a ventilator or a breathing
I
machine?
hope he keeps it up.
I don't know, but it's terrible. It hurts my soul to listen to.
Because they're excited.
Even though what he speaks about is sense and is truthful, he's never experienced what he's talked about, so it's pretty pointless talking about it. Because if he had, he wouldn't be mouth breathing.
I share them with those who came home since I received his letters, and I will share them with you tonight. He's a writer. He writes for TV. He started 3 years ago on this show that has been running for 3 years, and he writes every third or fourth script. He said, when I started, my price was $2,500 a script. And in 2 years, my agent got it up to $3,000 a script. Then, a year ago last Christmas, my mother came from the east to visit us. And I told her what I received for a script, $3,000 a script. And she said, well, I always assumed that you got $3,500 a script. She wasn't at all impressed with $3,000. And then he tried to explain to her that as far as he knew, there was no writer in the field, solo writer, who got more than he did. He was getting $3,000 a script. She was not impressed. Didn't disturb her at all. She still said that as far as she was concerned, it was worth $3,500 a script. Well, 2 months later, the agent was called by the studio for a contract, a renewal of contract for the next year of writing. Before, naturally, he would go over to the studio, he would have to discuss it with the writer. And so he explained to the writer he didn't think that they should ask for more. They moved it from $2,500 a script to $3,000 a script, and you shouldn't price yourself out of the business by asking for more. And so the writer agreed. It was a nice, friendly relationship between himself and the producer, so why ask for more and get out of the business? So it was agreed. The very next day after this agreement, a conference was held to discuss stories, a story conference. And so the producer said to the writer, have you come to an agreement with the contract for the next year? And he said, yes, I'm going to sign. He said, have you asked for more money? He said, no. He said, you asked for more. He said, but you're always complaining about the budget. It isn't big enough. And now you're telling me to ask for more. I said, you asked for more money. Again, he said, I don't want to price myself out of the business. He said, you tell your agent to ask for more. So when he went back, he called his agent. And when he told the agent to ask for more money, the agent thought he had too many cocktails for lunch. So he said, no, I will give you the source. And he told him what had been told him that very day at the conference. So the agent, now armed with this information that the very producer had recommended an increase, said he called up the business office of the studio and asked for more. And they simply blew their top, their scream. And then very generously they said, we'll forget it, as though you didn't even ask for it, so that the nice relationship between the producer and the writer can go on as it has for the past 3 years. But the agent, knowing the source, was adamant. And so when he came out of that office, he came out with a contract for $3,500 a script. So said the writer in his letter to me, my mother merely assumed that I was getting $3,500 a script. And so her assumption went behind the backs of all of us, producers, everyone, and bore fruit. So then he said, I called her up and I told her what I was getting, the script now. And then she started to seriously study your books. And he said a problem, a very great burden, has been with her for 25 years, a most distressing problem, which I will tell you about at some future date. But may I tell you, last Friday, it was completely swept out of her life. And now a confession is in order. When I first heard you, I couldn't understand you. And then I began to be afraid that I was going mad because I could understand you. Then he said, I will explain that later. So I am waiting eagerly for that explanation. But we are told in the book of John, he has a devil. He is mad. Why listen to him? You who have your Bibles, that's the 10th chapter, the 20th verse of the book of John. That is the chapter wherein he said, I and my Father are one. He had just gotten through in the previous, the 8th chapter, by saying, I know my Father. My Father is he whom you call God. But I know my Father, and ye know not your God. And for this, they stoned him. Stoned him with the literal facts of life. That's the stone of Scripture. When you throw the facts at a man, when the man dares to assume what reason denies, what his senses deny, then you who will not go along with his depth, you throw the stones or the facts of life at him to deny the reality of what he is claiming by a mere imaginal act. And so he has just gotten through making these bold assertions that I and my Father are one, and my Father is he whom you call God, but I know my Father, and ye know not your God. And so this story, he said, I didn't understand you, and then I began to fear a form of madness because I could understand you. For this is, it takes you into an entire different world for a reason on this surface of the mind doesn't really prevail. That you really believe in the reality of what inwardly you are doing. And then it comes to the surface. If you don't tell it before and you tell it afterwards, they will question your honesty. If you take them into your confidence and tell it before, if you have enough faith, go about your business. If you don't, they will plague you and throw the stones at you. And every time they meet you, they say, well, where is it? You said you're going to have a certain home, a certain job, a certain sum of money. Where is it? And so they are always throwing the stones at you or the facts of life. Now here is something, and you listen to it carefully. It's a long letter, and he's bringing out certain points that might have escaped you. For here what we are trying to do is to find out all the little facets of the greatest secret in the world, the secret of imagining. For as Fawcett said, the secret of imagining is the greatest of all problems, to the solution of which all should aspire. For supreme power, supreme wisdom, and supreme delight lie in the solution of this far-off problem, this great mystery. And he has thrown some light on it. So if I can recall, it's a long letter, typewritten, 4 pages, but I will give you some of the highlights of it. See, when I met my producer 3 years ago, he was a very subdued and reserved sort of a gentleman. Reserved, he said, would be the right word to use to describe it, very reserved. So unlike the volatile enthusiast with whom I formerly worked. He was very reserved. In fact, pardon me, he couldn't express the superlative in any way. In fact, his greatest praise was the word good. So you brought in the script, and he would accept the script, and his highest praise was good. Well, I thought, I'm going to change this. So I lay on the bed.
I'm thinking, I'm listening to this. He must be about 5-6 feet away from that microphone, would you say? If not a bit more. And I can hear every inhale.
Wait, I was gonna say he's a little bit too close to the mic.
I thought he sounded far away from the mic.
If that was the case, you wouldn't be able to hear every inhale and exhale.
And I heard him say to me,
That's what I'm thinking. But it sounds like he's far, but it also sounds like he's doing this. And I say today. So I don't know. I can't figure it out. Because there's an echo to it. There's a little echo to it.
great, just great.
And you wouldn't have such an echo if you were so close to the mic, would you? You would have an echo, but
No.
not as much.
He's talking in an empty room as well.
Now, I hadn't started the script. I had just given him a script, and he pronounced the script good. I am now doing this about the next script, and I heard him distinctly. I went over and over in my audio setup, as it were. So I heard him inwardly pronounce the new script as great, just great. And while I am lying there, the phone rings. I haven't started the script. The phone is ringing. It's the producer. And he's telling me that the script that he had formerly pronounced good was great, just great. Well, I said he threw me a curve, because that's not what I was expecting. It was about the new script, which I hadn't even started. So he not only threw me this curve, but someone had their lines crossed. So, right there, I kept on now working a new, I would say, line for him to use. And I changed it from great, just great, to terrific. And so here I am. I only heard one word. It is terrific. Well, I submitted the script, and that's exactly the word he used when he said to me, it's terrific. And with the same enthusiasm that matched my imagining. Now, I said to myself, 2 months later, every script I presented within 2 months, it was either great, just great, or terrific. It didn't go back to good anymore. So I said, no, I'm going to experiment again. So this time, I'm going to make him say, absolutely sensational. So I heard him say, absolutely sensational.
Absolutely sensational. I've never actually heard anyone say that in a sentence. That's an old saying, I'd say.
Say to me, what the hell? If you're praising yourself, why not get the best? So I am doing it to myself anyway, so why be modest about it? I am doing the whole thing because he's only echoing it. So I said, absolutely sensational. So I finished the script, took the script into him, and he pronounced it good. He said, I almost fell out of the chair. It was not the role that I had written for him. And he said, you know how authors hate ad-libbing. You know what that means in the theatrical world. When the author writes a play, and some actor thinks he knows more than the author, and he changes the script, and he ad-libs, or maybe he forgets his lines, and if he's smart enough, he can throw a few words in, and he ad-libs. But no matter how smart he thinks he is, he doesn't flatter the author. The author feels he knows better than any actor what should be there at that moment. And so, he said in his letter, you know how authors hate ad-libbing. So what could I do? The script had to be cut. So he gave me the script to cut a certain portion of it. I took the script home, did all the cutting, and then mailed it to him, and I mailed it as a petulant child. I didn't even revise what he had said. But the very next day, he calls, and he said to me on the wire, it's absolutely sensational. Now, this is the point I want.
He's used the same sentence twice. And I've never heard anyone say that in real life. Madness.
You to pay strict attention to. He said, you know, my experience with the producer disturbed me.
I want to play a song anyway. We've been half hour through this. And all that mouth breathing, I think we need to recuperate. So, play a song to the stream.
Halfway asleep listening to the guy. Yeah, go for it.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it in with you, but I'll see what I can do. No, that's not it. There it is.
You're not trying to impress me, you're trying to impress the stream.
You may be able to hear it now.
Hack your reality, change what you see. Thoughts turn to things, set your spirit free. Gratitude flip, kill the negativity. Hack your reality, now you thinking better, feeling free. Hack it, glitch the whole way. New neural path.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I've changed my stream to the way the music was playing from on my Discord.
Look at you.
I know, look at me learning.
Try to attack, replace what I got this, put the power back, daily gratitude, this what I'm thankful for, visualize the vision, walking through the door, you the programmer, you control the sim, delete the bad code, let the new life begin, hack your reality, change what you see, thoughts turn to things, set your spirit free, gratitude flip, kill the negativity, hack your reality, now you thinking better, feeling free, hack it, glitch the whole way, new neural pathways, every single day, hack your reality, hack your reality. All my life they said this is just how it is, but I found a back door, now I'm living for the wins, meditate in silence, breathe and reset, journal every win, no more room for regret, energy flows where your focus goes, facts shift to abundance, watch the blessings come back, pain is a teacher, reframe it as fuel, build that mental muscle, that's the golden rule.
Someone's trying to post links.
You could change your state, hack your reality before it's too late. Yeah, all my life I was sleepwalking through, now I'm wide awake, creating something new. You got the power inside, don't you ever forget. Hack the system, make your reality the best yet. Hack your reality. Think better, feel better, live better. Forever.
I put my voice into it. Yeah, so I play the clip that I put in. This is 11-second clip. That's what I put in, yeah. Just a random. And this is what I think I sound like, ready? I got AI to do it with my voice. Sounds nothing like me. I don't know though. Check it.
Yeah, I was talking like I knew it all. Sharp tongue, door heart, heavy ego walk. Reading every second.
Sounds nothing like me.
Yeah, but that's not bad for AI, seriously.
I could probably do that. I could probably sound like that, but it doesn't sound like me.
Text for the secret vault, but skipping every mirror that
you sound like Jamie Cullum.
What's that?
I said you sound like Jamie Cullum.
Don't know who that is.
He's a singer. I think he's from the UK. I don't know.
And then this was the folk music that they played. Called Close Enough for Forever.
Humming in the hallway, Wearing my old shirt, coffee on the counter, sleep still in your words. You laugh about the dishes.
I think I'm gonna play a game now. I think that's a good idea. Bored of Neville Goddard.
There you go.
Watching your hands trace. If this is all we ever get, these quiet mornings, tangled breath, your head on my shoulder, the world on the dresser, and I don't need a bigger dream. You're every hope I ever meant. If this is all we ever get, it's close enough to forever. We argue over nothing, what movie we should start. You roll your eyes, then kiss me, say you're my favorite part. You fall asleep mid-sentence, I tuck you
Which game
in,
you got?
you grin, like you know I'll still be staying.
What's that?
Which game are you gonna play?
Apex Legends.
There you go.
I don't know why I call it
Hey.
Apex Legends, because I love that. I love the game. But everyone else calls it Apex Legends because they all think it's gay.
Yeah, you play it a lot.
It's my addiction.
Yeah, dude, I'm probably gonna stop speaking because I gotta lay down and unwind, get some sleep before work. But I'll probably just watch the stream as I'm passing out.
Yeah,
But
man.
thanks for the invite.
No worries. I'll be here. I put you as a mod as well, so if anyone pisses you off if they do join, you can just out.
Okay, so if you made me mod, do I have kicking capabilities?
I'm pretty sure I've changed all that so you can ban and kick and things.
All right, if somebody comes in the server and starts posting weird shit, I'll ban them.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. No one's coming yet anyway. I'm not expecting anyone to come in anytime soon. We're building at this moment in time. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in. And I shall
Yeah,
start.
definitely, dude. I'll watch this for a little bit before I take off.
Yeah.
Don't take an L on the first game, by the way.
I probably will. I'm always taking L's. That's my whole spiel. I'm not very good, but I'll play it anyway. Because God loves
Play
a
like
trier.
Charlie. Play like Charlie for Fortnite.
Charlie. What a Fortnite player, man. He could have gone so far. I'm just changing my stream a sec. No, I gotta change my Discord stream. No, we don't.
Introducing your champion.
You don't get here by sitting around doing nothing. Go, ready up. Let's check out that way.
Picked the wrong character.
Attention. First blood.
Boy running. Got our first worm food, compadres. Sweet. This baby's looking even deadlier.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Let's go over there. Reloading. 1 minute, ring's not far. Target spotted. Enemy over there. $45 seconds. Or we could just walk it. Arcs are out.
Evo harvesters.
Throwing a frag. Frag out. Throwing a frag. Star out. 3-0. Rings close. Fire! Enemy shield.
Recharging my shield. 10 seconds to the ring. It's close at least.
I need light ammo.
In progress.
Watch yourself. There's another squad attack. No bueno. Bad guys, let's do this.
Hold tight. I got you back.
Catching myself up.
Let's relocate here.
Attention. Delivering care package.
Throwing thermite. Care package incoming. Let's get to the LZ.
Opening fire. Reloading.
Laser sight here. Bolts here. Let's relocate there.
Patching myself up. Cautious with
Oh,
hostile.
painless, knocking at the door.
Opening fire. I hear an enemy. I got some bad guys here. Reloading.
Cracked an enemy shield. Giving him the chimney.
Taking damage.
Tango near me. Popping smoke. Safety's off,
Target over
folks.
there.
Enemies here.
Cancel that.
Roger.
Bad dudes over there.
Give me a sec. Recharging shields.
Bamboozled.
Let's go that way.
Enemy over there.
Almost hit him then.
Half the squads are left. Let's smoke them. Enemy in sight. Saw someone out there. Stay focused. Enemy over there. Enemy shield. Reloading.
Beginning ring countdown.
Rings far. Move fast, folks. Before the lose anyone. Tango down.
Attention. There is a
Kill confirmed. Another notch on the belt.
Nice takedown. How'd that feel?
Nice. Champions out. Meat wagon's having one hell of a day. Got my upgrade, ladies. We got company, people.
you kill your
I'm spotted.
Reloading.
Fucking Delphi.
On the target. Giving him the chimney. Let's go this. Heads up. Dropping the bang. 45 seconds. Ring ain't close. Double time, people. Enemy shield. That was the last of them. Another squad bites the dust.
Woo.
Two other squads left. Stay focused. Still anyone's game.
Just so they know who they're facing.
Leaving my mark. Letting them know I'm ready to tango.
Rings coming in.
attention.
Healing. Watch my back. Care package incoming. Y'all earned this. Just watch your backs.
big circle and there's 3 squads left. It's fucking mad.
Let's reposition there. Evo harvester spotted near me. Sealed bin here.
Yo, got a sealed bin here. Here.
Got an upgrade. Moving out. Enemy spotted.
1 minute. Ring's not far.
Here's the ejector seat.
Just so they know who they're facing.
Target spotted. 45 seconds. Ring ain't far.
Bad guys over there.
Care package over there. Less than 30 seconds. Rings nearby.
I'm down. Need a medic.
Arcstar here.
Let's go this way.
Come on, compadre. Get up. Come on, come on, come on. Getting shot at. They're shooting at me. 10 seconds till ring. Here's the ejector seat.
1 second. We got this. Heads up. The ring's moving. Give my shields a recharge.
Charging shields. Come on, come on.
Get that coming in. Jump pad here. Heads up. Dropping the plane. Trying to corner us. Spotted. Double timing.
Last squad.
Incoming. Up in the chimney.
GG. GG unlucky.
We have our Apex champions.
Another alarm, 6 a.m. Don't even matter. Yeah. Another alarm, another gray morning. Same cars on the road, a silent sad warning. My shoes are untied, but I don't really care. I got a hollow in my chest, feeling light as the air. Phone screen's too bright, everybody's faking all these smiles that they're posting, all the ones that I'm making just to get through the day. Just to punch the clock, stuck in this box, just staring at the light. My coffee's cold, but I drink it anyway. Nothing tastes like nothing, what's the difference, what's the day? Is it Tuesday, is it Friday? It all just blends. This is where it starts, this ain't where it ends. Yeah, I'm living life in grayscale, trying to find a feeling, but I always fail. talk about a single thing. They ask what's wrong and I just say I'm tired. Truth is the part of me that cared has expired. I'm a ghost in my own house, gas in my own skin. Don't know where I end and where the apathy begins. I walk through the park, see the colors on the trees, but it's all just data, it don't do nothing for me. It gets better, that's a lie that they sell right now. I'm just walking through a comfortable hell. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just there. A flatline feeling, floating on the air. Yeah, I'm living life in grayscale, trying to find a feeling but I always fail. My heart's a ghost town, it's up for sale. Just floating up and I don't derail. Grayscale, yeah, grayscale. Static in my head's the only real detail. Soldiers, nothing matter, nothing at all. Now the sun's out, that's when they allow, that's when they all come out.
An enemy landed near me, cheeky rascal.
Attention. First blood.
First blood. Someone's been. Here comes the old knuckle punch. And rip. Kill that joker.
Nice choice.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Good, we're inside.
Cracked an enemy shield. Broke that enemy shield. Here comes the old knuckle punch. Broke that enemy shield.
Attention.
Tuck it down.
Ammo harvesters are online.
Take off. Charge your shield. Reloading.
Motherfucker bamboozled me.
Another squad's attacking. Focus. Listen, let's move here.
This weapon's kitted to the
An
nines.
enemy shield. Patching myself up.
Shield.
Contact. Tossing a landmine.
Reloading. Shooting at me. I'm down. Joker there.
Yo, I've knocked one down, yeah. One. There's one knocked.
Enemy right here.
He revived.
Didn't you smell me coming?
He revived.
I was upwind and I smelled you.
I'm the kill leader. Who's over here? Care package here, La. Something fun inside.
recharge my shields.
Watch out, Outlands. Fusey's upgraded. The old knuckle cluster. Found there. Joker right here.
Enemy shield broken. Reloading.
Pulling you back to the safety of my void nexus.
Not used to taking bodies off the ground.
Phasing.
Juicing me shield.
Got my ultimate charged.
Thought I was goner.
Enemy shield broken. I've been down.
Mother load incoming. The sky's about to fall. I feel a bit crook. I should heal up. Healing up. You'll be right.
I like that.
Delivering replicator.
This ring is far. Fidila, yeah. Replicator incoming.
Catching myself up.
Knuckle cluster out.
So mark over there. Recharging my shield.
Move their team.
One minute and a far ring. Ah, this will be fun.
Far ring, 45 left.
Here comes the old knuckle cluster.
Got our fallback plan in place.
Launching the knuckle cluster. Stick together, fellas. We're spread thin. Got me ultimate, mate.
Wow, so kind. Thanks.
Launching the knuckle cluster. Knuckle cluster out.
Attention. Delivering care package. Heads up. Care package coming in.
Wait, care package over there.
Getting shot at. Boy jumping.
Wait, care package over there.
Need to recharge my shields.
What do you say we move here?
My beautiful void nexus is no more. Oh, being shot at.
Another squad's attacking.
I've been downed.
This time I'm
Okay.
down.
Round 3. Beginning ring countdown. Attention. Delivering replicator.
I actually thought I was playing ranked.
Move there. Knuckle buster out. Rings nearby. Closing at 60. Plenty of time to luxuriate.
We tried. Whose message who's rang me?
Attention. There is a new kill leader. Warning. Ring movement in progress. Attention. Delivering.
Spotting a target for death.
Let's go here. Attention. There is a new kill leader. Round 4. Beginning ring countdown.
Bogey in sight.
Attention. Delivering replicator.
Bogey there.
Contact with target. Let's go this way. I got you. Lifeline's got your back.